Good Sunday morning, everybody. Nick Harrison here on the Nick Harrison Podcast. My first official return episode is this coming Wednesday, but I have a pre-episode here. Hopefully it won't last too long, just to kind of warm back up and get back in the routine of doing the Nick Harrison Podcast. So if you're a returning listener, I appreciate your loyalty. If you're a new listener, hopefully we can have a little bit of fun. Without further ado, good morning, and let's get started.
Pop culture, entertainment, celebrity news, and more. Broadcasting hot and heavy from the great state of North Carolina. And adding a biased opinion, of course, you can find it all here and now. Because it's time for the Nick Harrison Podcast.
That's right. It is time for the Nick Harrison Podcast. I want to remind you real quick that if you're a returning listener of the Nick Harrison Podcast, you might be familiar with the Hyena hotline where you can whine as much as you want. That phone number has indeed changed. So be sure to write this down. The new phone number for the Hyena hotline, it's a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week voicemail box set up to screen your calls, is 980-354-1246. Again, 980-354-1246. So 24 hours a day voicemail set up to receive your calls that we can feature on the next episode of the Nick Harrison Podcast. So give us a call, leave us a voicemail, whine about whatever you want. That's why it's the Hyena hotline. All right. The Nick Harrison Podcast is now a subsidiary of RealCelebrityNews.com. That's www.realcelebritynews.com. So in this podcast, I'm going to talk about celebrity news.
Lights, cameras, action.
Hey, welcome to Hollywood.
What's new in celebrity news?
So Justin Bieber, we know who he is. We know that he used to be with Selena Gomez. He's not anymore. We know that he is now with Hailey Baldwin. They are married indeed. On Thursday, Justin Bieber was photographed looking very distraught while sitting in a car with his wife, Hailey Baldwin. It was only a day after the news broke that his ex, Selena Gomez, was seeking treatment following 2 hospitalizations in the past few weeks. At one point, Hailey Baldwin seemed to be comforting an emotional Justin Bieber during their car ride. A source recently reported that Justin will always care about Selena. It's hard for him to hear that she isn't doing well. They have both had their separate struggles over the years, and Justin was always very sympathetic to Selena's. He wants the best for Selena. He wants her to be happy and healthy. A second insider shared that Justin still loves Selena a lot, but as a friend, and is praying for her. Another source shared that Justin has become a recluse and a changed person. He has no interest in being a celebrity and artist. He has withdrawn again, much like he did a couple years ago. He started recording music, but just stopped. The insider claimed that Bieber is, quote, not okay, adding that the 24-year-old has a lot of stuff going on in his head. The pal said that he has so much going on for him, but doesn't feel whole. Moving on to Claire Holt. We know who she is, right? She is pregnant again after suffering a miscarriage. On Thursday, Holt announced that the happy news on Instagram. She wrote, quote, my heart is bursting. I'm so happy to share with you that we are having a baby. It still doesn't feel real. These past few months have been filled with excitement, anxiety, tears, joy, uncertainty, but most of all, gratitude. Referencing her previous marriage, Holt shared, quote, you never forget the deep pain of loss. It dims with time, but it informs many of your experiences. Our loss earlier this year was the darkest moment of my life, yet it made me infinitely more thankful for the precious baby growing inside me today. I want to take a moment to acknowledge all those struggling with miscarriage, infertility, or any of the difficulties that come with bringing new life into the world. I know that these announcements can hurt. I've felt it all. My heart is with you, and I pray that our story gives you hope. Thank you all so much for your love and support. I can't wait to share this journey with you. The 30-year-old suffered a miscarriage in March, and at the time she said, quote, I've never felt more broken in my life. The news comes just 2 months after Claire and Andrew tied the knot. Okay, Steve Carell, famous actor out of Hollywood, starred on The Office. The actor is already receiving Oscar buzz for his new role in The Beautiful Boy. in which he plays Timothy Chalamet's father in the heartbreaking story of a son's addiction and a dad's fight to save him. Jerry Pinnacoli with Extra TV sat down with Steve Carell, who reunited with his The Office co-star Amy Ryan in the movie, begging the question, will there be an Office reboot? After jokingly asking Jerry if he has written anything or wants to produce, Steve Carell said, no, I don't think there will be a reboot of The Office. That was a lightning in a bottle. That was such a specific time and place, and those writers, the cast and directors that captured something special in those 9 years. You never know, but I don't think so, reported Steve Carell. Amy, who plays Steve's ex-wife in Beautiful Boy, commented, I would love to be in a room with those people again. As for working with Timothy, Steve commented while sitting next to his co-star, quote, it was an interesting set because the subject matter is obviously very deep, and yet we did have fun. Timothy noted that he was able to connect with Steve as a father figure, saying, I met him for the screen test. He was with open arms, literally. I immediately felt well taken in and cared for, and what you feel is someone's son. Beautiful Boy is in theaters Friday.
The Nick Harrison Podcast.
That's all the celebrity news I'm going to do now. Again, you can find those stories and more on the website, www.realcelebritynews.com, which is where you can also find all of our social media accounts at Real News Source on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You can find all those links at www.realcelebritynews.com. That's all I have for now. I'll be back on Wednesday. That's the news for today on Sunday, October 14th, 2018. Thanks for listening. I'll be back Wednesday. Be sure to leave us a voicemail on the Hyena Hotline. That's 980-354-1246. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back soon.
You have reached the end of another episode of the Nick Harrison Podcast. For more news and current events, visit us online at www.realcelebritynews.com. Don't forget to leave a review on this episode and subscribe to the podcast feed.